Hello everyone, this is Where in Time and Space, and today I'll be doing an episode review on Rose, the first episode in the new series from Series 1. This was aired in 2005, and from now up to when The Magician's Apprentice is aired, which is the Series 9 opening episode, I'll be reviewing all of the opening episodes from Series 1 up to Series 8. So every series from the new series. And so I'll start with Rose today. So I'll give you the basic plot line for Rose first. There'll be spoilers in this, so if you don't want to hear any spoilers, please don't watch this video. So Rose is we first get a scene of Earth, and it zooms in on where Rose lives, and we see that she has woken up and is going to her job, and we see her mum as well, and she goes into a job working in a clothes store, and she then finishes her day at work and has to, before she closes up, to go and deliver this lottery money to this, I think, electrician called Wilson. She then goes down and tries to find him, however, there's no reply. Then these shop window dummies come and start walking, as she thinks it's students. Then all the doors lock and she can't escape. She's then crowded around the wall where they're about to karate chop her, sort of thing. And then the mysterious man called the Doctor holds her hand and says run, and they run away from the Autons and manage to escape through a lift with an arm which got trapped in the door, which the Doctor managed to pull off. She's thrown into his world, and yeah, it's quite dramatic. What I did like about this opening, it was very good. I felt that it captured a very normal life for Rose, and it was a great seeing it from her point of view, since it managed to capture a new audience. For this was when Doctor Who was revived, and not many people would have known what this story was about, since it was for a new generation of people. Yeah, and it was great to see that. And when I first saw the Autons as well, I thought they were very cleverly done. They definitely looked like shop window dummies, and they weren't too bulky because they had a person inside of them. They looked very slim and very realistic. You could imagine them being shop window dummies, and the sound effects for their arms moving for plastic rubbing against each other was very good as well. Yeah, and the Doctor's intro was very dramatic. It was a great scene it was very unexpected for me, and yeah, it was a great scene to see him jump in, and Rose was thrown into his world, especially when he started saying that, oh, Wilson's dead, oh, this is aliens, and stuff like that, and she was sort of trying to keep up, but the Doctor didn't allow time for her to adjust. She just sort of was thrown into it. And when then we see the Doctor leave Rose and tell her to run, and he has a bomb in his hand to blow up the store. She then leaves and the store blows up. I thought the CGI was not best. It could have been better. It's not the best we've seen in the new series, but it's a lot better for the classic series. But the classic series, they didn't really have that technology to make good CGI. But I thought this one wasn't that good, so that's sort of a down point for this episode. It also, we see then Rose go back, and her mum is phoning all the relatives and friends, like, to tell her she's okay, and it's like, oh, you can get compensation and stuff like that. I thought this was very good, and it captured British life perfectly, since Mickey also wanted to go to the pub because there was a football match on, and I thought it captured British life perfectly. It was very good in that aspect, and I found Rose's mum very realistic. So Mickey throws away the hand which she had, the plastic dummy hand, and so the next morning Rose wakes up with her alarm clock, and then her mum says, "Oh, there's no point because there's no work to go to," and yeah, it and then the doctor um un like oh, I don't know how to say, like, gets rid of the nails from the cat flap, and opens it um to have a look inside, and Rose noticed that there was something coming from the cat flap, and she looked and found that the doctor was there. The doctor's then brought into the flat, and um, the hand somehow got in there and is strangling the doctor, and his performance was very good before he got strangled, because he looked in the mirror and said, "Oh, not too bad." I think this sort of represents that it's not been long since he regenerated. From obviously John Hurt, as we found in the Day of the Doctor, he regenerated into Christopher Eccleston, and so it's not been long since then when he met Rose. So yeah, it was quite good. That was quite a nice scene, and then they disarmed the arm, the plastic arm, and the Doctor goes on a walk with Rose, and you can definitely see that the Time War has had a big effect on him, since he looks very battle scarred, and he doesn't want to be involved with anyone so they don't get hurt. He's very he just wants to be alone, really, because he feels ashamed, I think, for what role he played in the Time War. And the effects of, it was just clearly shown. And so he leaves, says for Rose not to follow him, "Don't come looking for me," and he disappears in the blue box. So then Rose goes back and asks, I think, Mickey, her boyfriend, if she can borrow his computer, and she searches Doctor Blue Box, and it came up with a webpage, Doctor Who, with a question mark at the end. However, I didn't think this was very accurate, since I don't think Doctor Blue Box would have got up a picture of, or a website, Doctor Who question mark with a man, since it doesn't even mention the word blue box. It may have mentioned it later, but I felt this was quite a plot hole for this story. So Rose contacts the person who set up the website to find more out about this doctor, and Mickey comes along to make sure he's not a murderer, which he thinks he is, and then she goes into his house. They talk about the Doctor and find that he's appeared everywhere around history and disasters, and like he thinks if Rose has seen the Doctor, there's disaster coming. And then there's another scene with Mickey. He gets out of the car because a bin's moving, and somehow he gets stuck to it and gets thrown into the bin. And a replacement Mickey, a plastic Mickey, is put in the car. Now, when Rose comes back and says, "Oh, he's a loony because he thinks he's alien, the Doctor's alien and stuff," so Mickey, he's very strange. He's acting very strange, and Rose doesn't seem to notice very much, not until the restaurant. So I thought this was very inaccurate, as I thought Rose would notice Plastic Mickey earlier. So anyway, they go to a restaurant, and Mickey Plastic Mickey wants to know more about the Doctor to get information on him, and then a guy with champagne is saying, "Oh, your champagne," and Mickey keeps going, "Oh, it's not ours," and then it's actually the Doctor holding the champagne, and then he shakes the bottle and the cork goes into his face and comes out of his mouth. He then gets decapitated by the Doctor pulling Plastic Mickey's head off, and he starts rampaging the restaurant and everyone is evacuated. But the Doctor and Rose go out through the kitchen to the exit and lock the door. They are then left in this sort of back area where it's locked and there's no way of getting out apart from the TARDIS. And the Doctor goes inside very casually, and Rose is trying to get out of the gate, but there's a lock. And so Rose eventually goes into the TARDIS and sees the TARDIS and is really starstruck by it. However, I don't think she was as emotional as she was played out to be. She was crying. She started crying a bit, which I thought was a bit too emotional. I don't think you would have cried if you'd gone into the TARDIS. But the Doctor did say that was culture shock, but I didn't think this was very accurate. And then we get on to the Doctor tracking down the Nestine Consciousness, which is the controller for the Autons, and they find it near the London Eye. They go underneath. The Doctor tries to confront the Nestine Consciousness, and Rose finds Mickey and tries to free him from the Nestine Consciousness. And then the Doctor's held by some shop window dummies under the London Eye, where the Nestine Consciousness is, and finds the anti-plastic and the TARDIS, and thinks it's under threat, so starts the invasion. And I thought these were great scenes in the shopping centre when Clive sadly died from the shop window dummies, and all of the massacre really of Rose's mum in the shopping centre, and she's hiding, and then it was great. I thought those scenes were, and then we see Rose saving the Doctor by sort of attacking the Autons which are holding him, and he flipped them over into Nestine Consciousness with the antiplastic, so the transmissions stop. And what she doesn't realise is that she did it just in time to save her mother as well, which was quite nice, from these wedding dress shop window dummies. And then we see the TARDIS materialise in a street near Rose's home. Mickey is very scared and nervous and just shocked really about the TARDIS, and he's so squeamish and scared. And the Doctor then comes out and says, "Oh, do you want to travel with me?" And says that Mickey's not invited, and then he disappears because Rose says no, and then he comes back and said it can also travel in time, and he comes, and then Rose leaves with him, and that's the end really of this story. I thought this story was pretty good. I thought there was some great scenes there. There was some great acting as well. Some bits could have been improved, but it was great. Mostly great. The soundtrack was really great. I found that the music really fit this the storyline, and Murray Gold is such a great composer, and he's been great for Doctor Who throughout his time, and it was really shown here how the music created some really good motifs and stuff like that. So I'd probably give this story an 8 out of 10 for its great plot line, great acting mostly, great soundtrack, but CGI could have been improved, and just some bits could have been tweaked as well. But all around, I'd say this was a very good story, and I definitely recommend for people to watch it. So thank you for watching my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment if you want, subscribe, like this video, and check out some more videos of mine. So thanks everyone for watching, and goodbye. a man sitting against a door, it looks like, or a cupboard door or something like that, with a nuclear sort of sign